Good morning and welcome to the Early Bird, and here we're looking at the XJO on a 30-minute chart, and from the 15th of March area here. We've been looking at this structure moving up through here, and we're looking at 5 waves, so the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and then we've been breaking this one down here, and we thought that this may have been the top here, and this would be the same for the Dow Jones and the other markets as well. I had this labelled as a third wave here and a fourth wave, but a possible top being in place there. But what we've seen now is we've seen this this A, B, C here for the fourth, and that's sort of confirmed by the way that the futures markets have pushed up last night and sort of made new highs above this one here, in most cases anyway. Yeah, so we're looking at a fifth wave coming up here. So we'll see the our cash market at the 4,800 market here. It will have problems here today, but eventually sort of get up there. So I guess what I'm talking about here is this 5-wave structure here. Once it is complete, then we should see an ABC correction. Okay. Now, there's the good points. This is the ASX, the XJO, same thing on daily chart. So the point being is that it's highly likely to correct across here once it finishes its little structure, little fifth wave to the top here at around the 4.8 anyway. It'll struggle at the 4.772 as well, but in this area here we should see a correction. Now, how big this correction is going to be is a question in hand that we need to look at as it unfolds. However, for the sort of weekly view ahead, I guess, the sort of short-term to medium sort of view, depending on how one views the market, is that the market should stick to the 4.8 here, right? The same as the Dow Jones sticking to 12,300. Okay, so what this sort of means is that for us trading local stocks here, it essentially means that because the prices will be sticking to this in a general sense, then they should be quite safe. And any stocks, any local stocks that have good, strong, robust patterns that are pushing to the upside, it gives them a chance to continue pushing to the upside. So then we need to have a look at what sector they're in, be it energy, base metals, and so forth, and have a look at those markets, which we use the crude for and the copper market for. So they're just some things to bear in mind here. Okay, so when we're looking at our futures market, we're looking at it. We've been looking at our futures market at the 4,772 here, and our cash market is going to be heading into this particular number there. So as our futures market works with a 4.8, the cash will be working with this here. So they'll both be at strong resistance points here. Now with 4.8 here, the subgroup 1, which is 10, 20 and 30 here, it's their job to hold the price to the 4.8 there. So that's what it's going to be doing today. So, but if this at any stage finds support on top of group 1 here, then we can look at that moving further up. But the 4.8 here, if you have a look in history here, it's played a pretty strong part and it will continue to do that. So we could end up seeing some, reasonable size swings across this 4.8 there. Yeah, so just sort of bear that in mind there. This will be a bit of a magnet there, the same as this one was here, but this 4.8 is a bigger number, so it will play a bigger part in the process. But also remembering that we're looking at 5 waves coming up, and they need to be corrected. And yeah, so it's the same with the Dow Jones as well. We were looking at this little part in here being the top there of a 5th wave, but this move down through here that we'd been looking at, well, because of this here, we're expecting a drop, and we got the drop. It's found support, and now it's moved up. So we can pretty much conclude this would be the 4th wave to this point or this point. I have to have a look on the cash to see which is the low point there. If that is the low point there on the cash, then we can look at this being up for 1, back for 2, up for 3, back for 4, and up for 5 through there. And once again, at the, like I mentioned, the 4/8, the 12,300 here would naturally see a correction across it. So we'd be looking for, if this was the case, the 1, the 2, the 3, wherever that finishes, the 4th and the 5th coming up here. The top of the 3rd might be there, the 4th, and then the 5th up to here. Then the correction across the 12.3 there. But the only things to sort of rock that would be the employment numbers coming out on Thursday and Friday. The private payroll numbers that came out last night, I haven't checked what they were, but they must have been positive for this market to push up. So I would imagine that the employment figures for Thursday and Friday will be steady on that note there. But main point being is that, yes, we will see push up. We will see corrective patterns across this area here, and that will be the same for the S&P 500 as well, in terms of its little drop being a 4th one there, and a 5-wave structure moving up through there. So that 1320 becoming support or resistance is really what that will be about at that stage there. So yes, as we're coming up here, plenty of supply through here at the 10, the 20 and the 30. So they're all going to be tough nuts to sort of crack there, but we should see a push up through there. Finding support on the 1320 will be what it'll be about, because we would see the larger correction come back in here as an ABC here, coming back and retesting the 1300 here. The only flip side of this is if it pushes up there and finds support on top of group 1 here, yep, and finds a good solid support there, then it separates itself from the 1,300 here in psychological terms, and it will forget about it and it will move higher from that point. But if it struggles within here, then we can see it having the correction back here. So we'll see the correction will be either here or at the 1300 there. But the point being, we should see markets being reasonably positive within that there. The other downside would be the drivers of these markets, which would be the, first of all, looking at crude through here. Now, this is obviously correcting through here, and we can count this as a ABC coming down in terms of an A and a B, and then a C wave down in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 waves down here. So this does appear to be a positive structure to the upside there. As an impulse wave. However, that being the case, in terms of it being positive and pushing to the upside, we would need to see it have support on this level here, because this is obviously the resistance here. It couldn't find the support that it wanted to. The demand never came in at that point there. So it's retesting this here. So it's in a weak position. If this is 5 waves moving up here, then we can expect it to come back to, say, 104 and then have another push up through there. But at the end of the day, it needs to find support on the 105 there to be supportive and to push to the upside, because this is the 38.2 retracement level, this is the 50, and this is the 61.8. So it's still not out of the woods yet. We would always expect to bounce off the 103 when a market comes down, to retest the 105, and then it's a game between these guys here, and that will play out, and likely to play out at the 104 given time. So we just need to allow that to play out. So we don't have even though it's appears positive at this stage here, there's more to unfold for it to be a real positive at this stage here. So, and the reason I sort of say that for too is looking at the copper market and also the gold market as well, in terms of base metals and precious metals, because the copper market here, as you can see here, that we have got this strong impulsing wave to the downside, and we do have 5 waves. We have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do wonder if this is some part of a situation here in terms of being a top here and being an A and a B wave and a C wave down to here. So that's sort of on my mind a little bit, but we'll just see how it plays out. What we drew out here yesterday was 5 waves to this point here, and then we'll be looking for an A and a B and a C wave up there. I can see the third wave strong in the middle there. I'm not sure if that's the fourth and the fifth, or this will be the fourth and the fifth back up to here. Not that it matters just at this moment anyway, but we'll just see how this sort of plays out. Any sort of further weakness into these areas here, and then we've got a larger correction unfolding to the downside here, and would see that reflected in the local resources there. But BHP was up last night, and as mentioned with BHP in the US, once it was over 90 and found support there, then it's a positive lights for that. And BHP in the US can run ahead of our BHP, and our BHP kind of lags sometimes, and then it catches up. So there could be a catch-up session coming with our local BHP shortly, but US BHP travelling over 90 is a very positive thing, and it's travelling about 92.8 at the moment, so well above that medium level 90, and should continue to push up there. So just keep an eye on our local BHP. But first of all, we need to see markets like this here really sort of find support here. This is 430 here, a bit like what we just looked at with oil. So this bounce would be expected, but we've got this over this 5-wave structure coming down through here, and an A and a B and a C, which may come up to this point here, but we need to see what happens after that there. So once again, this is the resistance in the market there. So if we've got 5 waves down, there'll be a retest to this. So it's in a bit of a it's in a spot that is not positive or negative at this stage here, but we'll just see how that pans out. The same with the gold market as well. With the gold market here, same sort of correction at the low here. Now, just sort of squash this up a little bit here. Right, so I was looking at this in terms of down for 1, back for 2, and we're trying to find a third wave down, but we've really only had the 1, the 2, the 3, and then sort of looking for up for the 4th and down for the 5th, but it hasn't really sort of unfolded that way. This particular pattern at the moment here, we've seen there is 5 waves up here, and there is 5 waves up here. Now, this can be an A and a B and a C wave to here, and then it would move down through here in 5 waves in terms of down for 1, back for 2, down for 3, 4, and 5. That can be the case. Or the other side to this is that this is 5 waves up, so it can be up for wave 1 and A, B, C for wave 2, and then up for 1, back for 2, and then up for 3 here. So we don't really know, and like I mentioned when this all sort of first started, if support is found on the 1420 there, and I don't mean just trading above it, it's actually got to come back and find support. It's got to find that, it's got to be retested support and then move off from that retest. Now, we nearly had it here, but didn't take that sort of high out there. And even if you did get in here, if I got in here and it dropped down below here, then you have to get out. It's as simple as that. So look, if support is found on the 1420, sure, go long. And what this will mean as well is that this will also, if this is the case, this will also help the copper market as well. It will help clarify the wave count on that as well. But as far as this goes in the short term here, this has moved down through here quite quickly. So it's struggling to get back up, but this is on a 30-minute chart, so it would have been the afternoon session. So we'll see how that goes. But if it retests this and fails at 420 and starts moving down from that point, then we'd need to be short from that point there. But support back up on here, and then would be long. So really, it's just a matter of being on the right side of the 1420 there. So that should be the easiest way to move forward on that one. So yes, the gold market would be the same as the copper market here, in the same sort of situation as well. So we can take those two leads there, and also this copper market here would bring us into the Forex market. So if this is going to be moving up, then our currency will be moving up as well. So looking at at the currency markets. This is the US dollar index, and what we've got here at the moment, we were looking at this yesterday and previously as an A and a B and a C wave moving up. But yesterday we talked about the wave count within here. We could see the strong third wave in the middle here, and we could count the situation out in terms of the 1, the 2, the 1, the 2, and all that finishing through here. But there was still one wave short, as you remember yesterday. It was this guy here that I was talking about. It didn't fit into this particular structure here. So now that we've had this A, B, C structure here, and this has moved up here, not quite made a new high. I'd have to check on the actual index itself or the futures to see if that's the case. But that could be the 5 waves we were looking for in the 1, the 2, the 3, ABC for the 4th and the 5th here, because this has stayed above the top of this one here. If that is the case, then that ABC correction is finished. From here, this A, this B, and this C to there, and then this should roll out to the downside. And if this is the case, and this rolls to the downside, then the euro will be pushing to the upside, and this will also help our Australian dollar as well, and things in general. So we'll see how we go with that. We could say that if we were wrong and there was a bullish case here, that this 63.30 here, if this price came down under this here, then that would certainly be putting the bias to the downside here. But as it stands, this can be up for wave 1 and an A and a B and a C back for wave 2. But if it comes under here, then that would be that would really put the pressure on it. So we're getting quite close to sort of confirming, I guess, if this larger pattern here is an A and a B and a C wave. And then if that is the case, then we'll be moving further down, taking those lows out there. Now, the line in the sand for the bigger pictures and the traders is the 76. So while this market is above 76 here, then it needs to be considered into sort of positive light, so to speak, in a positive sort of structure. But under this here, we would start seeing it weak and the euro strong. But of course, we need to be in the market before that. So when we're looking at the euro, here, sorry, finish another thing. Right, so bear with me here, just clean the house up a bit. So what we're sort of looking in the euro here is this move down through here as being an ABC, is a corrective structure. And then moving up from that point and seeing the US dollar move to the downside. So to sort of become a little bit sort of clear on this, our aim was to work out when the euro has got support on the 141 here. Now, it's tried a couple of times and it hasn't found it. So it's like I say time and time again, it's the breakout, sure, it's important, but the retest is more important. So we can see this number 141 and the price and the market sticking to this number now. So there's a really good chance that we could find support on this level here, but would need it to work through these little levels here and retest it. So keep our eyes open. If we find good support on here, then we can trade to the long side. Now, because this is sort of developed more so now than we were speaking about it before, now it's developed more, then it will have more meaning once this 141 either becomes accepted as support or not. If this is some sort of wave 2 to this point here, and we've got down for wave 1 and ABC back for wave 2, and it's going to move further down, then this 14072 would be the level that you would need to work to the downside there. So if this became the resistance at this point, then you can use these ones here as triggers to go south. But also, if you have a look back in history here, you'll also see that the 140 here has got strong support over here. So it's not going to be easy. So from the 140 the 140.50 here, right down to the 139.50 here. It's going to be tough going across here because there is a lot of support here. So we can see that as this market's moved down through here, it's been touching on this support over here. So what we're looking for now is we want to see if that support is real, and the best way we can do that is for the market to find support. Yes, we can see it here, but there's still price action going on here that could be negative. So we really need to be sort of in this zone over here as support or resistance over here. So the 141 with support there, it still needs probably another session to sort itself out. But if it's found, then we can go long. Otherwise, we'll be going short from this section here. But it won't be an easy journey through here. So you need to get in and trade close, or you get in and stand back at that point there. Alrighty, well, that's just about it. Just to sort of recap here is that, yes, our markets will push up. They still will have problems around here. We have to expect a correction at 4.8, but while it's doing that, the stocks will be positive. We know we got to look at the copper market to see how that pans out, and if that does push up, then we're going to be positive from that point there. We also need to take in crude as well, and then we've got our banking sector as well. So with our banking sector, we can refer to US stocks. This is Citibank here. We can see that Citibank has been coming down. We're just wondering if this is going to be an A and a B and a C correction here, and we actually do have a low here. I can see that we've got low volume here, but we need to see the Citibank above here. It'll be the same with Bank of America as well. You can see that that's come down as well, so it's trading on its lows. Are we going to see it push up from here? And the same with Goldman Sachs. Now, Goldman Sachs, we pointed out the other day that it's got this correction here, this ABC here, perhaps a three-wave correction. But what I did like about this on the positive side, and that we looked at last week, was a very clear wave structure coming up here in 5 waves. Yeah, so in this case, we'll be looking for an A. We got 5 waves up, and then we'll be looking for an ABC. So we've got an A, we've got a B wave, and then we'd have a down for 1, ABC for 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we've got that ABC back. So now we need to see this push up through here. So we need this to, we want to see 5 waves up here, 3 waves back, and then pushing up through there. So we probably won't want to see this market come down below, definitely past the 156.56. But somewhere in here, we'd want to see support on here. So this is a market that we can watch to get a bit of a lead in from our local market as well. So if you're trading the local banks, then consider the 4 majors in the US there to give lead of direction. Alrighty, well, good morning and good luck.